Most Power BI problems aren't mysterious, they're predictable. If you've been around it long enough, you can usually tell what's gone wrong before anybody finishes explaining it. Not because you're clever, because the same mistakes show up every time. They always look different on the surface. Different data, different dashboards, different organizations. But underneath, it's usually the same three things. The first one is treating Power BI like Excel. People stare at totals, they click something, the number changes, and they wait for it to behave. They expect it to sit still, to add up rows, and to look reassuring. When it doesn't, they assume something is wrong. Not with the expectation, with the tool. So the check-in starts, clicking things on and off, comparing it to a spreadsheet that feels safer because it's familiar. At that point, Power BI hasn't failed. It's just being asked to act like something that it clearly isn't. The second mistake is ignoring the model view, which is always impressive because it's right there. Relationships get created automatically or not created at all, and nobody looks too closely about what is actually connected to what. Data tables pile in, data gets reused, keys don't quite line up, but because something shows up on the screen, people assume it must be fine. They don't think about grain, they don't think about direction, they don't think about how filters are flowing. They just move on. And that's usually the moment where the problem becomes permanent. The third mistake is trying to fix everything with DAX. This one feels productive. Typing always does. Something looks off, so a measure gets added. Then another, then a slightly longer one. Because DAX feels advanced, so it must be the answer. Most of the time, it isn't. What's actually happened by this point is very simple. Bad data structure went in, bad relationships were accepted, and now bad formulas are being layered on top to hide it. Nothing's really been solved, it's just being buried. This is where reports start to feel fragile. They work as long as nobody touches them. As long as the exact same filters are applied, as long as nobody asks an awkward question. And when something finally breaks, it feels random when it's not. The order was wrong. Power BI is unforgiving whether people realise it or not. The model comes first, then the data, then the calculations. When the order's flipped, everything becomes harder than it needs to be. People try to reason their way out of problems that was baked in at the start. They spend hours adjusting formulas to compensate for relationships that really never made sense. Eventually, the dashboard technically works, but nobody trusts it. And quietly, Power BI stops being used to decide anything. It becomes something people argue with, or export from, or ignore. If you skip the model, you don't get lucky, you earn the bug.